Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you.
a way out. So many questions answered with an answer to tell. Too many things on my mind for anything to go well. It's a singing symphony playing as
All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. How are you guys doing? OMG. We're right here, honey child. Gonna make it through the day. Just checking. I can turn my head a little bit better than I could yesterday. Yes. Just checking to see how the feed is looking over. Yes. So, everybody good? Happy Friday. What a hot mess. So, I'll bring you guys up to speed, obviously, on what happened yesterday with me and the neck and everything else. Medication time. Apparently I need to take this one before I take the hardcore pain meds because they do a number on your stomach. And so they've given me something to Pantocid to help, I guess, alleviate what's going to be coming with the stomach issues. So I need to take this one half an hour before food. And then, okay, looking at the time. And then eat, and then take the pain meds after the food. What a hot mess. All right, so we're going to do meds for 10 days, honey chow. Yes. So, yes. All right. We're here. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing, honey chat? So yes, what a day yesterday. I was in a lot of pain, but of course I had to kind of push through it a little bit because I had to be in court and I was late because, I appreciate the court. Oh, somebody said happy Friday the 13th. It sure is. Good luck day. Good luck day. All good things are going to be happening for y'all today. Somebody's going to win the lottery somewhere in the world. Look at that amazing prediction. So yes, I had to get to court after the show. There was traffic on the road. What's with the traffic, man? Early morning, people are doing road works. And, there's a road work up by the Easterly Tibbets. Then there was stuff Lower Valley. There was road works in that area. I'm just like, geez, y'all are road working me to pieces. Anyway, and then I had to take my time driving because what I didn't realize is that I couldn't really turn my head beyond a certain point to the right. So, every single roundabout, you got to look right because you always give way to the right. They have the right of way. And so I was kind of like using my eyes more than turning my head. I couldn't straighten up my head yesterday. Oh my gosh. I was in a lot of pain. So, when they say out of 10, what's your pain threshold? I said 8, but it was probably more like a 10 for real. No, sir. Anyway, my philosophy in life, though, is it could always be worse. There has to be a worse than this. That's how you get through life on the positive side. So I never say a 10 because I'm sure if I had a broke neck, it would be worse than what it is, right? So I'm always like, I don't want to say 10 or even 9 because there's got to be something worse than this. Anyway, went to court. And like I told you guys, I didn't expect anything major to happen in court yesterday. It was more of okay, we've gotten this far since Monday. Got legal counsel on it. She's looking for the KC. who's going to be the expert to handle the case and yada, yada, yada. Court said, right, no timeline because we want to get this right, sort of vibe. So, yeah. So then that was that. So, making progress. So we don't know exactly when the substantive case is going to be heard. They're sitting again, I think, in November and then January. So it could even be early next year. But I'll certainly keep you guys updated. So yeah, then I was messaging because the neurosurgeon at Health City was in surgery all day yesterday. And so Dr. Benoit, I had messaged him with the pain as soon as I woke up in the morning and realized that I needed medical intervention. He's like, if you come before 10, he goes into surgery for 10 o'clock. If you come before 10, he can see you. Otherwise, after 4. And I'm like, oh my God. I knew I couldn't make it before 10. So then I'm thinking, I got to wait till after 4. So I messaged him and I said, yeah, okay, I'll have to come after 4. I'm going to try and grin and bear it. And he said, no, don't grin and bear pain. Like people think they have to do that, and you don't have to do that. Come and we will help you with the pain until the neurosurgeon can get to you later in the afternoon. So I said, yeah, okay. So I went there and of course they took me into one of the rooms. You know what? I actually didn't realize that I guess all of their rooms are private rooms. I never really thought about it. Praise the Lord. I'm not a person who has to go to the hospital often. I don't really like hospitals. I guess nobody likes hospitals, but I'll go there to do my diagnostic testing. But I'm realizing that there's a whole other area of Health City that I've never even seen, a whole wing. So that's why in my brain, when I go to the one at Cayman Bay, I'm like, this place is huge. And they're like, yeah, but it's only about 70% as big as the one Health City. I'm like, are y'all sure? The Health City one doesn't look that big. I think what the problem with that is, I've never seen all of the Health City one. So I'm like, oh. So when they took me to this whole other area, and I get confused up in there, all I know is they're turning this way and turning that way. And I'm like, where were we just now? And so they took me in the residential wing, like the rooms. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a whole other section here. This is amazing. And the rooms are really big. Seriously. I'm like, oh, I was thinking the ones at Cayman Bay were big because that's something new. Apparently all the rooms are big, even East End. Very, very spacious. Private bathroom. You got enough area for people to come and visit and sit and all sorts of stuff. So I didn't even get in the bed because I was like, I don't want to lie down because lying down is not going to make me feel better with this crooked neck situation. So I thought to myself, can I just sit? And then I was saying at one point after sitting for quite some time, I said, can I get a recliner? They went and got me a recliner. Listen to this kind of service. They said, okay, this room doesn't have a recliner, but there's one upstairs. We'll bring it for you. And they went and got me a recliner chair and brought that so I could kind of lean back a little bit, put up my feet and recline. So right away they came in and they're like, okay, we're going to get you going on some pain meds here. Anything you're allergic to, they run through the whole list. I'm allergic to opioids, the stuff that everybody wants because it makes them feel good. And then they get addicted to it. There's a whole opiate addiction problem in the United States. I'm allergic to that. For real. Percocet is one of the names that it goes by. And I can tell you that one time somebody at the HSA, I can't remember what I went in for, but they gave me, obviously pain. They gave me some Percocet. And yeah, boy. That stuff was, ooh, honey child. It made me feel so horrible. Like I just remember feeling nauseous. I felt just my head wasn't right. I don't understand how people can get addicted to something like that. But anyway, so Percocet apparently has oxycodone in it, and I think it's one of those things that's like highly addictive as well. So I put that down. Somebody has a whole thing here. Listen, how one Percocet prescription triggered my addiction. This is what this person wrote. Yeah, they started Percocet prescription 4 years ago. One night while working as a nurse, and when the business emergency, I was exposed to meningitis. Coincidentally, anyway, Percocet is addictive. Listen. So thankfully for me, I have no use for it. And I put it down on my list of don't give it to me. All right. I don't want it. I'm allergic to it. So they're like, okay. And then they give me some pain meds, put in an IV line, give me some pain meds. And I'm still like in a lot of pain. The pain was next level. I'm still in pain. And then they just had all these people rolling in to see me. You know, the doctor came, he actually put in the line. He said, are you right-handed or left-handed? I said, left-handed. He said, all right, let's put it in there. Do we need any blood work? The only criticism I'm going to make, constructive criticism, is I'm not fond of needles. Okay. I don't think anybody is. I don't see anybody going, oh yeah, come put an IV line in my arm. That feels good. Nobody is. And, some people do it better than others. And he did a pretty good job. Like, I'm not bruised up or sore or anything this morning, even in this area. So that's a good sign. But I'm one of those people, and I'm like, listen, if you're going to put in a line, do what you got to do, because I don't want you to come to me about another line or anything else. So they did say, somebody asked the question, has anybody ordered any blood? Are we going to need any blood? And they said, nope, it wasn't ordered. And then later on, they came back and said, oh yeah, we're going to need some blood. So we need the other arm. I was like, oh man. I said, listen, always take blood. This is my philosophy. Just take it. Because, you're putting the line in. So before you start using that line for the drugs, because then you can't take blood from it, I'm like, take the blood first. Always. I don't care if nobody's ordered it. Test me for something. So, and when the nurse came back then to take the blood, I said to her, I said, by the way, take more than you think you might need. You might want to test for something else. Maybe this is a great time to do my quarterly. I was like, take it all. Because I just don't want him to come back again. Like, oh, we forgot. And he didn't. I'm like, Anywho, I didn't even notice the thing with the brace and the top. Thank you, Melita. Look at that. Fashion forward and didn't even realize it. So anywho, yes. So we, Anthony, I'm telling you the story now. So they did all of that. I was still in a lot of pain. The physiotherapist kind of came and he was looking at it for me. He's like, yeah, it's this, whatever. I don't know, telling me which nerve it is or whatever. And this one, I'm like, listen, all I know is I'm in a lot of pain. So he did a little bit of manipulation for me and you could feel exactly where it was. So when the doctor came in, he said, your blood work, everything's fine. Blood work looks good. He had ordered some x-rays. I did the next x-rays. Like I couldn't even, the poor x-ray technician had to like straighten out my neck for me. And I was like, oh my God, that hurts. So basically I slept bad on it, but it's like a chronic case of that. And it's, spasms and maybe even a little bit of pinched nerve situation. And so he said, it's going to take a couple days for it to actually settle down. So all the pain meds, they actually gave me anti-inflammatory, not anti-inflammatory. They gave me that in the thing, but then they came back and gave me a muscle relaxant injection as well in my arm. Whew, that one is not pleasant. And still, still pain. So they gave me the neck brace, which I find helps because it stabilizes the neck and then I'm not moving it too much. And it helps with the spasms and stuff as well. So we're going to wear this as much as we can over the next couple of days just to give it, the support that it needs. Keep it straight. And then, so meds, pain meds for 10 days. I go back and see them the week after. It's supposed to be next week, but my schedule's coming up. Going to be a little bit crazy. So at night, no pillow, except I'm a side sleeper. So I was like, oh, I can't sleep on the side without a pillow. I need support for my neck. So I had a, you know, yeah, finding a good pillow is a problem for me, especially as a side sleeper. So many years ago, when Gigi was a baby, I bought her a little, what's it called? Sheep pillow. It looks like a little sheep, like a toddler pillow. And so I have been like when I used to sleep with her, I would use that all the time. Because I noticed that the same thing with I had what they call frozen shoulder that was caused from sleeping. The whole occipital nerve thing, like a lot of it is because I'm just not finding the right way to like sleep. And so I'm trying to see if I can find it. Somebody said that they use a pregnancy pillow and that has really helped them. So I need good neck support. And I've spent all kind of money on pillows and they just haven't, they claim they're great for it and they just haven't worked. Trust me. I'm going to show you all this little pillow. It's no longer even available on Amazon. I purchased it in 2018, but it's shaped like a little, sheep, but it allows it like gets right in there. Now it doesn't have the, the support it used to anymore because it's been worn out all these years. But that's what I had to use last night to kind of just support my neck. So I need a proper supportive neck pillow that doesn't really prop my head up, that really just gives me support. So big shout out to Laura. Thanks, Laura, for making the recommendation. She's recommended one that has helped them when they have neck issues and stuff in their family. So I'm going to get one of those and see how that works out. So basically now I just got to take it easy. And I'm going to show you guys this little neck pillow. See, it's shaped like a little sheep. It's hard to see here. It's not the best picture, but it's shaped like a little sheep. And this is what I use. I had to steal her pillow because she's like, that's my pillow. I'm like, oh, mom needs to borrow it. So Sujit says, I've read that these collars don't help. What's your experience? Well, I think where it helps, and I guess it depends on what the issue is that my head isn't having to like kind of support itself. Like it has this additional support because this side back here, just, I can't turn my head this way. Even tilting my head upwards is painful and, requires more resources than the neck has right now. And the other thing I discovered through the x-rays, apparently I've got some degenerative, why can't I say the other form of the word? I can say degenerative tissue, but then I can't say what's the other version of it that you'd put TION on it? Maybe it's not a word. So I've got like degenerative disc disease in the neck area here, a couple areas, but there's not another version of that word. There was like degenerated. Let's see if we can make it up. Degeneration. That's the word, right? Isn't it weird how you could say degenerative and the brain doesn't want to process degeneration? It's like practically the same word. Anyway, so there's like two areas in the neck that I'm told that there is some loss of, I guess, but I think that happens to probably a lot of people, part of aging, maybe over time. It's not something that obviously would have happened overnight, right? So they're like, yeah, you've got that, but what are we going to do? More physio again. So I got to message my physio people because remember now I was doing physio for the knee and stuff. So I don't think I'm going to be able to see them with this until this is kind of settled down. What a hot mess, folks. You hit a particular age and stuff just starts to fall apart. What can I tell you? Having said that, good morning to everyone. And of course, You guys know that we have our part to do. This is why y'all, including myself, need to do better with our nutrition. We need to do better with exercise and strengthening. That's very, very important. Yoga, staying limber, Pilates, stretching it out, and all this kind of good stuff. Daily stretches. I subscribe to a lot of, I like to visually look at them. Not that I'm doing them like I should, but a lot of Tai Chi videos on, sometimes you guys will see me on Facebook posting my Tai Chi videos. And, a lot of those are about trying to just keep different areas supple and limber and, movement. It's important to move. Movement is very, very, very important. We sit a lot of times. We're in one position. Being in one position isn't good for you. So getting up and moving different parts of the body. And I find that for me, if something doesn't hurt, you kind of forget it. Like you forget to do stuff. You forget to stretch. You forget to, stretch your neck and stretch your shoulders and do shoulder rolls and all this kind of stuff. I feel like every morning we should get up and make that part of our CMR vibe, like how we did during COVID. Do you guys remember who was here during COVID? Raise the hands. Scott, you got me cracking up here. Don't make me laugh too much now. Who remembers during COVID when we were doing the exercise segments? Like we'd get up and exercise a couple times a week, especially on Fridays. Do you all remember that? Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Irvlyn, I know you were here. You were doing it, and then people would join in on the live stream. My flag isn't on. I'm going to turn that on a second. So yeah, people would join in on the live stream. There was a lady in Fort Lauderdale who would join us as well. And yeah, we had a good time with that. And that was good. Forced you to get up and exercise, at least do something during COVID to keep moving. Johan is in the house, says whoever beat up or assaulted either getting arrested or rewarded depends on who you ask. He's so silly. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Miss Aline. I appreciate it. Irvlyn says, I'm a side sleeper and is having the same neck issues. I had to roll a towel and prop it under my neck. Yeah, it's hard for side sleepers. Degeneration. Yes. Yeah, I'm not a back sleeper. And when I do sleep on my back, Marlon's always like, you're snoring, roll over, because you snore more because of how your mouth tends to open and how you're positioned, I think, when you're on your back anyway. But I'm not a back sleeper. Sometimes I am a tummy sleeper, but I sleep, I would say, probably 90% of the time on my side. So, yeah, sometimes I sleep on my stomach as well, but not as much. And then I don't know who else does this. Okay, raise your hands. Who sleeps on the same side of the bed every single night? If you're a couple, you know how hard it is to get the other person, even if you're willing to do it, you know how hard it is to get the other person to, yeah, Irvin, I'm going to turn it on in a second. You know how hard it is to get the other person to switch sides with you? Because I'm like, listen, because I don't actually like to face him when I'm sleeping. It's weird. Don't ask me. But I think most of you can probably understand, right? I don't like to be breathing on people when I'm sleeping. So I always turn the opposite direction, which means that the right side is the side that 90% of the time I'm sleeping on. Because then he faces the other, you know what I mean? So last night I'm like, dude, you either have to swap sides with me or you got to face the other way. Because now I need to sleep on the left and I don't want you facing me. Like, turn away. So the compromise was he turned the other way. He refused to swap sides of the bed with me. I think I could sleep on the other side. Although, listen, the human brain is so set as creatures of habit. You get up every morning, you do the same routine, right? Things throw you off if you don't. That every single, even when you go into a hotel, do you not find that even if you're sleeping by yourself, you tend to sleep on the exact same side of the bed? Yeah, you walk into a hotel and you end up on the same side. And you're like, there's nobody here with me. I can sleep in the middle. I can sleep anywhere. There you go. Yep. Siobhan says I sleep on the same side of the bed. I'm telling y'all. Evelyn says we do, right? And then nobody wants to switch sides. Anisha says I'm deading on my side. I need a change of side. I bet you your husband's not going to say yes to it. He's going to be like, why? Thank you, Charlotte. Religiously, I sleep on the right side of the bed everywhere we go. So I'm on the left side. You see, but I need a right side. We need a change around here. Turn around and lay with your head at the foot of the bed. Oh, Lisa, that's a good idea. But don't you feel weird when you do that? But I'm going to try that. But then his feet would be a little bit too close to me. Unless he did it as well, which I don't know. He's a creature of habit for sure. Miss Sandra understands what's going on. She says, me, I sleep on my side. I hate anyone in my face. Right? Especially when you're sleeping. Get well soon. Thank you, honey. Chill. Good morning to Darlene. Live happy. Says, word of the day, flippant. That's a term you were seeking to describe Johan the other day. Was I? What was the topic? What were we talking about? I can't even remember. All right, honey. Chill. So we'll be fine. It's so funny. We're like, who's next in the family? We got to tell Zeus to be careful because, I mean, he might have a sprained tail or something next because Gigi's got the leg covered with the brace on her leg. I've got the neck covered. We're like, Marlon, don't you fall over and need an arm brace or something else. Oh, my Lord. All right, give me 1 second. Let me turn the TV on, which means I need to get up. Okay, honey, chat. Let's do a couple commercials.
Cayman Drama Society presents Juve by Yasmin Joseph. This play about Notting Hill Carnival will be performed at the Prospect Playhouse from the 29th of August to the 14th of September. Come join the Dane, Jade, and Nisha on the road as a DJ drops the beat and the girls both lose and find themselves in the music. The show takes us on a moving and fun ride through the streets of London and the history and emotions the carnival symbolizes. Get your tickets now at www.cds.ky.
All right, folks, this is the last weekend for Juve. Get your tickets, honey, child. Get out there. And it's actually a really good play. They've done a phenomenal job. So don't miss it. Go support the Cayman Drama Society. They do a lot of stuff, and they actually do stuff with kids. So my husband was saying that maybe we should get Gigi involved in drama because he thinks she's a drama queen, like her mama. I was like, Dad? She's like, Dad, you have the worst dad jokes ever. That's a bad dad joke. She is so funny. And I'm like, yes, he does. He's always joking, if you know him. Oh my gosh. And some of the jokes are not particularly good, I'll admit. So yes, worst dad jokes ever, she told him the other day. I was like, When she was younger, she didn't always know. Children learn a lot with socializing and stuff. So sometimes she'd look at him and she'd be like, is that supposed to be a joke? Because obviously it was a little bit too subtle for her. She's like, are you joking, Dad? I don't know. How many of you have kids and you just love what they call you? Like, kids that say different things. Mom, mama, mamacita. I don't know what your kids are calling you. But sometimes Gigi says it, and it's just the cutest little thing. She says mama, but it's the way that she says it that is just, oh my gosh, it just melts your heart. She's like, yes, mama. But it's just the way that she says it. It's like, oh my gosh. And I just want to hug her to pieces. All right, Melita says Lisa's right about the foot, and Sandy, I did it. I could try it. Ma'am. All right. This person says, I'm tuned in and I'm killing myself laughing. Good morning, love. I was hoping I would have been ready for the pickleball court in you this week, but I got to take it easy. This one said, good morning. Sleep with Zeus instead of Marlin. Oh my God. Zeus would love that. He's a little, listen, let me talk about Zeus for a minute. He is the sweetest dog in a way, but he's also kind of feisty. So Coco was just sweet. She was sweet, 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 sweet. She'll bark. She would bark at other dogs because she was excited to see them, but she's a sweet dog. Zeus has an attitude. Yeah. He'll be barking at people like he wants to get in a fight with them. I'm just like, Zeus, what the heck? What's up? What's up? So we got some neighborhood dogs. There's a senior one named Harley that Zeus, I don't know. From day one, every time we go into Harley's little area, Harley comes over and they have to do the whole sniffing thing every single time. I'm like, yeah, it's still the same dog. He still smells the same, I'm sure. You don't need to be, come Miss Stacy. I'm like, you don't need to be sniffing his boy parts and he doesn't need to be trying to sniff yours. Harley's a big dog. And so, no plantain this morning. Plantain doesn't really go with beans, so you know.
So you want it?
No breadfruit this morning.
Yeah. Where you want it? Plantain or the breadfruit?
All right, I'll make it work. Don't worry about it. I'll eat this. Don't worry yourself, chill. I was feeling for something with plantain and breadfruit. That's okay. That's all right. I think I had that yesterday. Creatures of habit. Anyway, I'm worried plantain goes with everything. Normally I feel that way, but I don't know. I don't know if plantain's gonna go with this. I mean, I do love me a plantain, but I kind of feel like, ooh, this stuff is hot. Does the beans have do they have saltfish and beans? I think that probably is what that is. Anyway, I gotta eat to take my medication. But listen, yeah, he's a little bit feisty, strong-willed. Like he's, but in the house with household members, he is the sweetest little thing. Once he's used to you as well, and he's like, oh, just rub my head, whatever. So that made me chuckle because Zeus, he is spoiled. He would love to be in your bed, sleeping like he's somebody. He has his own bed. He's figured out how to jump up as well. So he like jumps on the foot of like the frame of the bed, then he jumps up again. I'm like, no. Get in your own bed. You got lots of beds around here. Somebody says, big up Miss Stacy for me right now. Miss Stacy, I'm not going to tell you who this person is, but they've had your cooking. And they're like, big up Miss Stacy with the food. They would come over and eat Miss Stacy's food. They'd be like, boy, Miss Stacy can cook. Yo, tell Miss Stacy she can cook for me any time of the day. I said, yes, sir. You got to try her new desserts, honey child. Miss Stacy been coming strong with the dessert game. All right. Good morning, Sandy. Most people have degeneration bones because of aging. I have it too. But thank God we're like, amen. Hallelujah. This other person says, I emphasize I have to sleep with a travel neck pillow. Girl, I pulled mine out yesterday when I was heading to East End. I told Stacy, please get my travel neck pillow. And I got a really nice one. And that's what I used when I was sitting in the car as a passenger because it helped. The ones people use in airport, yep. That's what I pulled out yesterday. But it has to be all foam. Yep, I feel you. The bead ones don't last long. Ooh, honey child. Hold on a second. I'm going to show y'all a really good one. That I have. Okay, hold on. When did I don't even know when I bought this one, but it's been a minute. Let's see here now. I'm a little bit weird though about trying to, you see, I need one for just home use, you know, because you're on a plane with people and their germs, and then you bring that home. Like I try to keep my travel stuff kind of like in one area, because then I'm thinking, ooh, this has got like airport germs and stuff on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta be disinfecting those, child. Spray them down with something. trying to find my travel pillow on here. See if I can show you guys. Anyway, this one is very, very comfortable. Uber comfort. But honey, children, I'm always ordering pillows. Lord Jesus. I got the water one that the headache specialist recommended, but I haven't used it yet. So I think after this is settled down, maybe I'll try that one. Okay. I can't find it right now, but I'll find it and show you guys. Yeah, but get the memory foam ones. Those are the best ones. All righty. We got good stuff to talk about here. Good morning, doctor. Got some doctors checking in on me. Good morning. Maybe a body pillow will help. Yes, I had one of those during pregnancy, but they're so big. But they are nice. And you hug those up instead of your partner. All right. Somebody says just a little something to make you laugh. Oh, this is about the eating the dogs and cats. Any profanity in it? So I didn't get to watch the full debate the other night, but apparently Donald Trump made some comment about, was he saying that foreign people like to eat dogs and cats, like people coming from Mexico? Where does Donald Trump get this stuff from? Does anybody know? Like, seriously? Does he just pull it out of his parts? His netherines? I don't, I sit there and I listen to a little bit of it. And I tell you what, I was so dumbfounded by so much of what he had to say. I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't think I could debate that man, because I'd be like, I mean, you saw the expression on poor Kamala's face. She was like, what? What did that man just say? Child, I can't even. America, I'm going to just pray for y'all, because y'all need Jesus. Y'all need Jesus in the worst kind of way, because this dude, and so many of you guys support him. Oh, he said Haitians are eating cats and dogs. They're not the ones that y'all better be worried about eating cats and dogs. I mean, there are people who eat, I don't know about cats, but there are people who eat dogs, which is not something I would ever be in support of. But let me be very, very cautious here. Not cautious, be honest. I can tell you that that's not the Haitians. They're not eating no cats and dogs. What's the thing? What do Haitians love to eat? I don't even know what's in their diet. Are they into anything French, since they're French Creole people or whatever? I don't even know. What they need is some of this dumpling that I'm about to chew on right now. Yeah. One thing for sure. There is not a shortage of food when you get to America. When you get to America, you don't have to be going in the streets and grabbing nobody's cat and dog to eat. Like, what the hell is this man even talking about? Does he live in the real world? My God. Listen, even if you supported him, because I don't know why y'all support him, but whatever. When you hear him say stuff like that, do you not think to yourself, I am supporting a dumb, like, seriously. Y'all support him for different reasons. Oh, you think he's a Republican. He just latched on to that party because that's the only ones dumb enough to make him ride them into the sunset like a bunch of donkeys. And even a lot of them are now having second thoughts about, what they've done. So he said that Haitian people in Ohio are eating cats and dogs? First of all, excuse me, I doubt there's a lot of Haitian people in Ohio. Where did he even get that from? Oh my God, the stuff this man comes up with is just shocking. And y'all sit there and allow this man to say, somebody actually messaged me. I think we shared something on Instagram, like a little reshare joke. And somebody had the nerve to message me and said, yeah, but they are eating cats and dogs. You just don't know anything about it. I'm like, Lord Jesus, y'all need help. Are you serious? Yeah, Miss Sandy, they really are eating cats and dogs. Okay. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, they got a Burger King right around the corner. They could go behind some fancy restaurant and go through the garbage instead if they're really that desperate. I don't know what to say about y'all. Something special in the water these days in America. I'm just saying. All right. So somebody sent me something about the whole cats and dogs thing. Let's watch it. Hold on. I gotta download it first. Oh man, Trump. So now he said that he doesn't want to do another debate because apparently he knows he lost. Did y'all see the funny thing where he was he's been going to different things talking about how he won the debate and he can't even keep it consistent. He's like, oh, we won by 80% to 7%. Like sometimes his math doesn't even add up. And I was laughing and listening to this yesterday. And then we won by this other poll. I mean, he was all over the map. So he's convinced that he won, which nobody should be surprised at that because the dude thinks he's never a loser according to him. So please do your research. Many illegal immigrants in Ohio, mainly Haitians. In Ohio? Oh, a YouTuber visited Springfield, Ohio, and the resident said that Haitians were eating their cats and dogs and swans from the park. Trump did not lie. Let me fact check it. All right, so we're saying that Haitians eating cats and dogs in, where is this, Ohio? Okay. Trump falsely accuses immigrants in Ohio of abducting and eating pets. Fact check. So everybody has fact checked it. So either, I'm not saying he lied, but I'm saying he's not well informed. Reuters, so I'm not going to take your word for it. Reuters said there's no evidence of Haitian immigrants stealing and eating pets in Ohio. A viral narrative suggesting that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio are stealing resident pets or taking wildlife from parks for food surfaced on social media this week without any credible evidence. So I don't care what residents y'all claim saying it. Them people are simply as dumb as Trump. So let's fact check it. All right. A post on Facebook sharing the narrative included an image with the text, Springfield, Ohio residents are warning their pets and wildlife like ducks and geese are being eaten by Haitians. And of course, presidential candidate Donald Trump amplified the unsubstantiated assertion during Tuesday night's debate. In a statement on Tuesday, Springfield police spokesman said, in response to recent rumors alleging criminal activity by the immigrant population in our city, we wish to clarify that there has been no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community. Oh my God. Some social media posts present body cam footage of a woman arrested in Canton, Ohio for killing and eating a cat to support the online narratives. But Canton police spokesperson Dennis Guerin said in an email, the suspect in this case is not a Haitian immigrant. Oh my God. She is a lifelong Canton resident. So y'all are so hell-bent on making stuff up on the poor Haitian immigrants that she went out there and killed a cat herself and started to eat it? What a sick woman. The graphic video, viewable on YouTube, oh Lord, we're not going to watch that, shows the August the 16th arrest of Alexis Talia Farrell, who allegedly killed and ate a cat in Canton. Wow. You would do something like that just to try to prove something that isn't true? Stark County Commons Pleas Court records for Farrell show she was charged with animal cruelty to companion animals. Oh my God. The mayor said on Monday claims of geese or ducks from parks being killed and eaten are also unsubstantiated. And interviews last month following claims at a city commission meeting that Haitians were cooking wildlife taken from local parks, a city official said that they were not able to verify any of those reports described as false and misleading information amplified by social media. And then they go on to talk about the Haitian community, saying that in 2021, the U.S. expanded the Haitian eligibility for a humanitarian program, granting deportation relief and work permits to an estimated 150,000 Haitians already living in the U.S. who cannot safely return to their home. So Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio are in the country legally and eligible to apply for temporary protected status. The total immigrant population in Clark County is an estimated 12 to 15,000. And you're trying to say that that's the highest in the U.S.? I doubt that that's even the case. Let's see. Shall we say cities with the highest Haitian population? All right. Since y'all claim that that's where they're at, I'm telling you, it can't be Ohio. I don't care what y'all want to say. Let's see where they're actually at. They are in Boston, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, Atlanta, Miami, Canada, Montreal, Ottawa, and they're on from there. Ohio, nowhere on the list. Y'all need to, like I said, people who believe this man and tell me he's not lying, okay. You might want to check why you actually believe him. You can get the numbers, Haitian Americans, by the numbers, and I can tell you that the largest population of Haitians in the United States live in Little Haiti in South Florida. In addition, they've settled in major Northeast cities such as New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Detroit. Yeah, not so much. Roughly 1.1 million people of full or partial Haitian descent live in the United States of America. No, sir. Going after the poor Haitians now. Poor them. So, no, they're not eating nobody's cats and dogs. That man needs to go sit down. He's ridiculous. Absolutely redunculous. AP News addressed it as well. CBS News. Baseless claims about Haitian immigrants. BBC. Trump repeats 4 hours ago. Trump repeats baseless claim about Haitian immigrants. NBC News, NPR News, everybody in the news world is saying that this is untrue. Well, I haven't read what Fox has said because, Fox is his. They're like, go Team Trump, no matter what he says. Where did the claim come from? Apparently, it came from this August the 27th meeting of Springfield City Commission, where a local resident, one person started this lie, describes himself as a social media influencer, launched into speech against Haitian immigrants. This is all about being prejudiced against these poor people. That's all it is. That is all this is about. It's so sad because every immigrant group has been subjected at some point in time to different narratives and stuff about them. So this man gave a long list of grievances, including that they were slaughtering park ducks for food, and accused city officials of being paid to bring in immigrants, but provided no evidence of his claims. Oh my God. So horrible. BBC Verify, they even have a Verify team, has looked at archived videos on every major U.S. broadcasters, including Fox, CNN, CBS. They've used keyword searches for relevant videos on social media and have not identified any televised interview of this nature. Separately, a news report, as well as police body cam footage from late August about a woman who was arrested for killing and eating a cat, has been circulating online. Many right-wing commentators have referred to the woman as Haitian and pointed to the report as evidence of the baseless claim that Haitian immigrants have been engaged in similar activity. However, the incident took place in Canton, Ohio, about 170 miles away from Springfield. Canton police told the BBC that the suspect was born in 1997 and that she's a U.S. citizen. The department also told us that we have not dealt with any complaints of Haitian immigrants at all. BBC Verify spoke to the Springfield City Commission about the claims, and they said that there's no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, yada, yada, yada. My God. Wow. So apparently there's one picture of a man on Reddit carrying a dead goose in Columbus, Ohio. And this conservative news outlet claimed that the Federalist, called the Federalist, published a story with an audio recording allegedly from a non-emergency call to Springfield police, where the caller claimed to have seen 4 Haitians carrying 4 geese. Oh my God. The article also features what is meant to be a police report from the Clark County Sheriff's Office about the call, which it says was made on the 26th of August. BBC Verify contacted the sheriff's office and asked them whether the audio recording and police report were true. And they directed, their spokesperson said these claims were not substantiated. I mean, I don't know what to say, except, you know, in this day and age, if this was actually happening, somebody said, oh, you know, don't rely on, you know, traditional media because they're not going to tell you the truth. Why wouldn't they tell you the truth? I mean, no one has any interest in protecting the Haitian community. The Haitian community doesn't own the BBC. They don't have any influence over anybody. So, my God, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, the memes and the jokes that have come out as a result of it have been next level hilarious. Look at this one with Trump hugging a cat and a duck, obviously AI generated, but hilarious, you know. Oh my God. Oh, look at poor little cat. So cute. Deborah says he's talking pure nonsense. My God, you cannot make this stuff up. I'm sorry, but you cannot make this stuff up. Oh my God. Ay, ay, ay. What a hot mess. Ohio governor reaffirms Haitian immigrants are not eating animals. Somebody else sent that. Debunked by the city manager. Rumor started by that idiot J.D. Vance, says this person. Okay, let's see the comedic stuff that's going to come out of this now. Hold on. Someone sent a video. Let's have a look. The woman is mentally ill and was on drugs. No, this was before. Okay. All right, hold on one second. Let's see what this video is. Oh boy, at least it gives you some comedic relief. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. What a hot mess. Simple C says he's a capitalist. Still take Trump over Kamala though, says Simple C. I don't support Trump, says Siobhan. Thank God we don't have to vote in this hot mess of an election. We're going to have our own hot mess of an election here pretty soon. Still no date announced yet. They like to wait till the last minute. All right, let me see now. Let me see where this video is downloading, and then we can watch this together. What folder is this in? All right. Let's see, honey child. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. It's gone to the dogs. I'm surprised that they haven't made a song about this yet in Jamaica. I'm waiting for that tune to drop. So for the benefit of our radio listeners, this is a guy pretending to put seasoning on the cat. He got some adobo, looks like some garlic seasoning, definitely the hot sauce. Yes, man, they like their spices like us. What a hot mess. No, sir. The poor cat is like, what are you doing? And then he takes out his fork. Oh my gosh. Y'all crack me up. I just can't. Dean Shalette, good morning, says illegal aliens are eating the pets, believe it or not. Oh. What a hot mess. 12 to 15,000 is a good size versus 1.1 million. I doubt that. So the leaders in Ohio are saying, please don't believe this foolishness. Oh my God. Sky News cover it, the Telegraph, everybody's talking about this hot mess. Eating dogs and cats. I tell you. YouTuber actually did. He's asking, do you think that Kamala answered the first question? I didn't actually watch the full thing. I kind of tuned in towards the end, like maybe the last half an hour. But generally speaking, most people agree that she won the debate. I mean, you have to be blind to think that Trump won it. That's why his supporters were telling him, go do some homework and do a second debate with her, and he's refusing to do it. So why wouldn't he do another debate? If he felt like he won, why not do a second debate? He did not win. The funny thing about it is, morning, Jerry. Hi, Al. The funny thing about it is he didn't answer from the questions that I saw. And, answering questions is a bit of an art form because you need to answer the question, but I get it that sometimes they're trying to interject like other stuff. So like she put him on the defense and by all accounts made him look really, really poor. But a lot of times they don't answer the direct question directly. They're like, okay, let me get some of the other stuff in to show what we have been doing. And then we're going to come full circle with it. And how much time do they get for each question? They seem to run out of a lot of time as well. Although they said that he actually got 5 minutes more than she did overall. What a hot mess. So here's something else that was trending. The American artist Taylor Swift. She actually, after the debate, posted that she is supporting Kamala and said to her followers that they should do so as well. And do you know, let me tell you the power of somebody like Taylor Swift. What they call themselves, Swifties or whatever. Over almost 500,000 people went out and got registered to vote after Taylor Swift said to vote for Kamala Harris. So her endorsement, they showed that people clicked on the link that she put up in her post, and 400 and something thousand people went and got registered to vote. Wow, we need that kind of activism in Cayman to get y'all out there to get registered to vote. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
How you doing?
good. I promised my husband I would try stop calling in,
Yes,
after that last incident.
after somebody else trying to grab up his wife, he's like, listen, we can't have that round. Yeah. That is so
I
funny. Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question? What was the dinner conversation like that night when your husband got home?
we both laughed. We both laughed about it.
Oh my God. I know you were looking at him saying, you see the prize you got, honey chill.
Oh, it was funny. We both laughed, thankfully.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
So about the debate, listen, I'm not for Trump or Kamala because I don't live there, whatever, but I did watch the debate because it's entertaining.
Yes.
You would have to be a fool to not see that the moderators were clearly on Kamala's side. That's all I'm going to say. Trump did not win. She won. But you have to be a fool to see, to not see. Every time they fact-checked him, which, okay, fair enough.
I mean, they have to do that because he lies so much, though. Let's be clear.
No,
he has a history.
That's fair, but if you're going to fact check one person, you need to fact check the other person as well.
Well, I'm assuming had she been lying excessively in previous debates, then she would have had that sort of restriction put on her as well.
And then also, every time Trump didn't answer the question that they asked directly, they would say, "Sir, that's not the question. This is what we're asking." But she did it several times. She didn't answer the question and they didn't press her. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I'm not for either one because I don't live there and I don't vote there. And I'm more interested in our elections. But yeah, it was interesting to watch.
Okay.
Very interesting.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really watch the whole thing. Let me see. And on that point, let me see what some of the headlines are saying. So the Guardian says ABC's debate moderators did what some said was impossible. They fact-checked Trump. So that was their headline. BBC asked the question, Ross Atkins, on were the Trump-Harris debate moderators unfair? So there's that question there. So BBC analyst editor Ross Atkins looks at how the debate was fact-checked, which means they had a whole bunch of people in the background trying to check that stuff. So one person agrees with this. Well, the article heading says ABC's moderators failed to fact-check Kamala Harris. Let me see here. Okay. So the things that these fact checks introduced valid conflicting information. Trump said violence in the U.S. was out of control, and the moderators pointed to FBI data that contradicts this. Trump said that Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio were eating pets, a completely erroneous claim. But when Harris made statements that could have been fact-checked, the moderators declined to do so. Harris said that Trump had threatened that there'd be a bloodbath if he lost the election. And Harris implied that there was a threat of actual political violence. The moderators could have pointed out that Trump was describing the state of the economy under prospective progressive governance. Harris also said there was currently no U.S. military members in active combat zones. This is untrue, as American troops are currently serving in informal war zones. Well, if it's an informal war zone, is it actually considered an active combat zone? That's a little bit of play on words, probably. But this article goes on to say that Trump was deservedly grilled on his appalling conduct during the 2021 presidential transition and comments that he made about Harris's race. What a hot mess. Okay, well, entertainment for sure. Debate moderators corrected Trump 3-1 Republicans protest presidential debate. What a hot mess. All right, let's move on. Lots of people sharing lots of, this is one with the dog watching the debate and getting scared after Trump said that. Oh my gosh. I can't make this stuff up. Good morning, sis. I'm not sure if you saw this one. This is a cat. Hold on. Nope, I didn't see this one. I suspect there's going to be a lot of memes and a lot of videos. Your pets are about to go viral now, responding to them.
The dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Look at the expression on that dog's face. All right, let's talk about some Cayman stuff. What a hot mess. This person advances lies about the Haitian community, abducting pets and wildlife, spreading STIs. He said that too? Oh my God, what the hell? What is wrong with you people? You see, you got to be careful though, people who try to pick on minority immigrant groups, because there's something inherently wrong when you have to do that to try to prop up Americans as better. All of America is built on immigrants. Y'all were importing criminals from Europe. That's where the UK sent their undesirables to places like America and Australia. So this guy says, I guess Ibram is probably Haitian himself or of Haitian descent. So he said, Vance's lies about Haitian immigrants abducting pets and wildlife, spreading STIs, and killing children. He said that too? Oh my God. Do not just demean Haitian immigrants. These racist ideas demean Black immigrants and Black Americans. Racist ideas are like a contagion. They don't just latch onto the target. They spread and latch on to everyone else associated racially with the target. Racial ideas of Haitian immigrants are dangerous, reinforce racist ideas about Black Americans as dangerous, and racist ideas about Black Americans as dangerous, and cites the everyday police brutality of Black Americans. Wow. And then, yeah, they're talking about childless cat ladies. What is it with them and cats? Why are they always messing with the puss? Leave it alone. My goodness. What a hot mess. Anyway, let's talk about Cayman's hot mess. Next, you know, they're going to say they're kidnapping and eating babies. No, sir. I tell you what. All right. Let's move on. Cayman. Well, y'all heard the headlines. You read the headlines about the HSA. They're a little bit up in their feelings, so I'm going to try to tread cautiously this morning. Because, you know, yeah. Listen here. Y'all need to relax. All right, HSA. What can I tell y'all? Y'all in your feelings, and there's really no need to be. Let's give you a little bit of background information. So a couple days ago, I heard that a HSA physician had been arrested for something or another. And I'm like, an HSA physician arrested? What's going on over at HSA? You got pharmacists, assistant pharmacists being arrested, investigations launched into them, drugs found in their cars. Now a doctor arrested. I'm like, wow, what a hot mess. I guess when you employ as many people as they do, you know, somebody's bound to get arrested that works for you. So, of course, I asked the question right away. Oh, one of your physicians got arrested? Honey child, they must have dropped out their chairs. How did Sandy know that already? Okay. We know things and we find out things pretty quickly. Anywho, and for the record, not from the police, because they're like, the police must have told the police. Listen, Y'all see how long the police take to respond to a press release? Okay. Anywho, they, within an hour, which was quick for them, released an official statement saying, yes, one of their physicians was arrested, but they don't have anything more to say. It's under investigation. You know, the standard yada, 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 yada. We said nothing response. So I said, all right. Y'all not going to tell me who he is? We won't be making any further comment. Okay. Well, y'all know I'm going to find out who he is anyway. I mean, you either tell me or I'm going to find out and whatever. And we did that. We published a story. Child, they're all up in arms about this. I don't understand the response. The response is a little bit weird to me because yesterday they had an emergency board meeting. They had an emergency physicians meeting. They pulled them in. They pulled in people from the ministry. The minister wasn't there. She was too busy in the afternoon getting ready to go and tour Health City, Camana Bay, getting a personal tour, honey child, mess with you. But yeah, they're up in their feelings about it. Why all these emergency meetings? Because what? Why would you be upset about us just reporting the facts? Soka read it, and I read her comment on Facebook where she's like, well, basically just said a doctor was arrested, and you know, this is what he was arrested for, and what his credentials are. She didn't see much of anything, and I certainly didn't see anything to get upset about. I'm like, what's the big deal? Well, y'all got upset over at HSA, and I don't quite understand it. I'm going to be honest with you. And they're like, oh, we're putting so much hard work and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yes, I get it. You know, I understand that you're upset because I don't understand why. No, I don't understand it. Truth be told, I don't know what y'all upset about. Media all over the world report on what is happening in their communities. Okay? So what? We didn't say anything about his guilt or innocence. I don't know the man. I don't know Dr. What's his name? Sounds like he's of, the name sounds Greek, like he's of Greek descent or something. American guy. I don't know anything about the guy. So why would you be upset that his name is now out there and people know who he is? You put him on leave. You canceled his clinic appointments already. You have to wait the outcome of the investigation. So to be clear, he has been arrested, but he's not been charged with anything. Now, here's an interesting tidbit of information that you guys might find interesting. Their legal counsel, Mr. What's his name? Garcia. What's his first name again? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I think we did a story on this too. He used to work at the DPP's office. Kelly Garcia is his name. All right. He used to work at the DPP's office. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, this dude has some insight, you know, into the process. They've got like an insight. Yeah, so we reported that back in February 23, criminal lawyer joins the HSA team. Now he's a corporate lawyer, advising them and all sorts of stuff. Oh, Lord, I better eat so I can take my medication. So he is well positioned to tell them, you know, okay, this is the process. This is how it's going to work. He was a prosecutor. So I would have thought, apparently they're surprised that the guy got arrested. And this I find a little bit like, why would you be surprised? Couldn't Mr. Garcia have told you that this was coming? Was this not foreseeable? It's kind of weird. Anyway, the HSA has known for months about this investigation. So the fact that now media knows about it and we've reported on it, I don't understand why that's shocking to anybody and why anyone should be up in their feelings about it. You guys just need to get over this kind of stuff. We're here to do a job. Our primary job is to keep the people of the Cayman Islands informed about what's happening in our community. Okay? That includes physicians getting arrested. Hello, not for nothing, but that's actually a really big deal. It's not often that you're going to hear that a physician has been arrested on suspicion of negligent homicide or whatever the case is. So let's be clear here, folks. Manslaughter by reason of gross negligence. I don't know anything about the exact details, why the police and the DPP think that this is a homicide manslaughter case. You know, what would have elevated it to being a criminal case as opposed to a civil case? Because in most cases, when physicians make some sort of mistake, it's generally accepted that it's a civil matter and you sue them, and, you know, the HSA is going to have to pay out some serious money. The fact that the police have, on the advice of the DPP's office, no doubt, arrested this man means that obviously there is a contemplation that he will be charged. And that is a very interesting situation. This is big news. You know, so how are y'all going to keep this quiet? Seriously. I simply don't understand it. It's weird to me that all of a sudden y'all having emergency meetings yesterday as though this is something that is new to you. Y'all know the man was being investigated. In fact, he left the island for about 8 weeks, was able to come back into the jurisdiction. I think really what happened is that when he came back, the police were like, this investigation is progressing. We need to arrest him so that if we need to eventually put bail conditions in place, we can do so. Anyway, he's not been charged yet. You gotta be careful eating anything with there's fish in it because it has bones on it, yeah. He hasn't been charged as yet. And so we'll wait to see what happens next. I can't tell you nothing about the man. I'm not saying if he's innocent, guilty, or otherwise. I would not know. And quite frankly, what I know of the DPP's office from personal experience, I question anything they do with a side eye. So I'm more likely to give the defendant the benefit of the doubt. As you should. That's why it is the Crown's job to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not the defendant's job to prove his innocence. Legally, the Crown is responsible for proving the guilt of the party. HSA, relax yourselves, please. Honey child, they were up in meetings yesterday, all confounded and trying to figure out a way forward. So much so that they have gone and hired Michael Wingrave, who's a partner at Denton's. Now, you see, this is where I do kind of wonder about their legal chops. And I don't know anything about this Michael Wingrave guy, but I've never heard his name. It says here that he's a litigation partner at Denton's Cayman. Does he do criminal law? He's head of litigations over there, apparently. Is he a criminal lawyer? I don't recall ever seeing this guy in court, not once in my life. Why y'all hiring him? I mean, I don't know who he is, who he be. Anyway, that's a matter for the board, I guess, over at the HSA. If they think he can get the job done, but I'm going to tell you, I've never seen him up in court winning a single criminal case. So this is a criminal matter. You guys may want to get yourselves a good criminal lawyer. That's who you need. He might be head of litigation, but again, Denton is not a law firm that comes to mind when I think of criminal cases. So I'm not sure why they're hiring him. Is it is he going to handle the civil suit that y'all know would be coming as a result? Anyway, it is interesting. I can't say anything more about, obviously, the investigation because I don't really know a whole lot more. What I can tell you guys is that at the end of the day, the police will do their job. The DPP's office will do their job. If he gets charged, we will follow the case as media. We'll report on what happens. If he doesn't get charged, and that's the end of that. And, everybody, I guess, goes on with life. I'm going to encourage organizations, especially government agencies, to, don't assume that because media has a role to do and we have to cover these things as being relevant to the community, that we're somehow against you and you guys need to get all up in your feelings and, our physicians work very hard. Nobody ever said that they didn't. I mean, you guys are connecting things that, quite frankly, are not related in your heads. And so I know that they have their JCI situation is, I think, coming up for renewal or review or whatever next year, I believe. And so maybe there's some degree of pressure in relation to that, how this negative press can impact them. This person says they're upset because it's embarrassing. Well, okay. But if it's embarrassing for them, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all, except you just need to relax. Okay? Relax yourselves. Trust and believe me. Yeah. Take it easy. I think what y'all need to do, what you really need to focus on, is the other complaints that are coming my way about the HSA, which have nothing to do with this. Now that we know who the guy is, I've received a couple interesting comments about him. I don't know him. I've never seen him in my life before. But the majority of the complaints that I've received have nothing to do with him. It's about other stuff that's happening at the HSA. I could do a whole show on those other things. And we're going to get to addressing some of those in due course. Dee Dee says, my question is, who will be representing and standing up for the victim? Don't they matter? Well, in a criminal case, the person who does that is the DPP's office. That's their job. How effective they are is a whole other question. But that's the role that they play. They're there to present the Crown's case, the government's case, which is basically on behalf of the victim. Right? So I don't know what it is exactly that he's alleged to have done. Some people say that the young man on his way, and for those of you who don't remember the case, this young man, Travis Alexander Ebanks, I had to go back and look. Let me just show you which young man this was. Sometimes there's so many cases and so many names and stuff you can't even remember. Our condolences to his family. This was the first murder of 2024. And people are saying that when he was on his way to the hospital, that he was fully, he was talking. He seemed alert. Like they didn't think his injuries were that serious, but I mean, you can't go by that either. You can have internal injuries and 1 minute you talking and looking just fine. And the next minute something happens that, you're a goner. So I don't know the medical stuff. I do think that I would hope that if the DPP's office was going to charge this type of offense, that they would be coming with something really, really good. But then again, listen, they always have me in court over nonsense, so I don't know what to believe. I have to wait. We all have to wait to hear the evidence. That's the best thing to do. wait to hear exactly what they claim the doctor supposedly has done. Is he the only person who was negligent to that criminal level? I don't know. Anyway, what I can assure you is we will definitely keep you updated at the very least. All right. So somebody said, I heard last week that there's a staff meeting and someone that did not attend had to write a 2-page essay explaining why they weren't at the meeting. This is complete madness. I don't know what the staff, I didn't know that the staff were attending school. So much wrong happening at that place, and they're worried about staff doing an essay, shaking my head. What a hot mess. A 2-page essay about why they didn't attend a meeting? What a thing. No, sir. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's lots of staff complaints at the HSA. And I think that they need to start listening to their staff a little bit more and, seeking to, when you talk about organizations and you talk about things like customer care and so forth, your staff are part of your customer base. They're your internal customers. So they have different stakeholders that ensure that the HSA is running optimally. And their most important stakeholder outside of, the third-party customers that use their services is their staff, in particular the support staff. And so if they're having issues and they're having complaints and stuff, and they don't feel like they're being listened to, you better believe they're going to be reaching out to me. I mean, take that how you want to take that. And it ain't no one person. When I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people messaging me about foolishness that's going on at the HSA, I think that that's a good indication that you all need to be having some sort of processes in place that makes your staff feel inclusive. And I don't know, I don't know who, I don't know. What a hot mess. That would be my best advice. What a situation like this does do, and maybe this is why they're upset, is that it kind of opens the floodgates for people to start talking about the HSA. And maybe they don't want people to just talk and say anything bad. So there's that. We'll keep y'all in the loop. And of course, condolences to the family of Travis. So I did hear that someone on the board, I'm not going to say who, made the comment that what the police need to do is focus on who murdered him. Go find the shooter. Go find the person who killed him. And as a result of that comment, they got a standing ovation yesterday afternoon at this HSA meeting. Well, yes, I agree that the police have not, we don't know what progress they've made, but they've certainly not charged anyone with his murder. And that should be a primary focus of the police. But just because they've arrested a physician over what they say is negligent manslaughter, that does not mean that they are also not pursuing the lines of inquiry of why Mr. Travis would have been shot to begin with. Maybe they're working on that and they'll soon have an arrest there as well. The two are not, they're not interconnected in the way that, the fact that they've charged this doctor means that they're making no headway, or they're never going to find the person who killed Travis with the actual bullet, like who shot him, or whatever. They're not connected. And so when I hear comments like that, I think to myself, that sounds like the politically expedient thing to say in a board meeting or with your physicians and staff. And of course, they're all going to get up and clap about that. But that doesn't mean, and that certainly doesn't give physicians a pass to do whatever they want in an operating theater or an emergency room situation or whatever these allegations are about. So it's not connected. What would you say if they did already have the person charged who actually shot him? What would you then be saying to get people to give you a standing ovation? Very separate things. Because there is a possibility that although Travis was shot by some criminal, some idiot who should be arrested, should be charged, should be in prison, there is a possibility that his life could have been saved had it not been for medical incompetence. I'm assuming that's what the legal argument that a DPP is trying to build a case. So if that is the case, what would you then say? Yeah, somebody stabs you, somebody shoots you, but are you then not entitled to adequate medical care that could potentially save your life, and that you would still be alive had the physicians and the support staff done what they were tasked with doing? That's what medical negligence is all about, in case y'all don't know. That's why he's been arrested, not yet charged, why he's been arrested for suspicion of manslaughter by reason of gross negligence. And that is a higher standard than anything that you would get in a civil case, for sure. It is yet to be determined exactly what the details of this allegation are. So we're gonna sit tight and see what comes out as a result of this. But I'd caution people at the HSA, don't get in your feelings. Don't, I wouldn't even recommend making statements like that. I know you think you're making it to your board and, well, who else is going to know about it? But there's no such thing. As long as you're having a conversation with one other person, there's no such thing as a private conversation, folks. Yeah. People are going to find, and the funny thing is, some of the same people who are sitting there clapping, telling you you're doing such a great job, are the same people who are going to go out to external individuals and repeat exactly what you said. Always keep that in the back of your mind. So Wanda says, I don't think I want this doctor if he's negligent working on me or anybody else for that matter. Well, that's if, and that's a big if. We don't know that yet. We don't know exactly what the Crown's case is. And so, of course, we're going to have to wait for the full outcome of the situation before we can make that type of determination. But to the HSA's credit, they've done the only sensible thing that they can do in the circumstances, and that is to put him on leave, cancel all of his clinic appointments until this matter is resolved. So I understand that they're hopeful that this never comes to him being charged. That's where their mindset is. But they were also hopeful that he wouldn't have gotten arrested, and clearly they missed the mark. So there you have it. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Just turning into this topic. Was an autopsy done on this victim?
Oh, I'm sure. They always do autopsies on people here. So again, we don't have any information though in relation to that. Mm-hmm. We don't know what they're alleging was grossly negligent quite yet. If he gets charged and he ends up in court, then that information is in the public domain at that particular time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, my dear. But yes, in this jurisdiction, It is very, very customary, and I think probably even required by law for, in these circumstances, for an autopsy to have been done. They need to determine the exact manner and cause of death. Mm-hmm. All right, let me see. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let me just I'm just checking messages to see if we had any. All right. All right, folks, let's move on. Good morning. Good morning. Johan says, you obviously are not a multi-generational Caymanian based on your comments. What on earth is he talking about? Scott said, just add it to the list. Port, DES, Lands and Survey, HSA. Do you notice a trend? A trend with what, Scott? Maybe you could be more specific. Good morning, Mia. Says, morning, review present and past comments and actions, usually on the same side of the agenda. I don't think that's related to this conversation, but okay. All right. Trying to filter through the comments. Y'all having a totally different conversation. All right, y'all seem to be on a different conversation. Carla, wishing a happy birthday to Damien. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the immigration, since y'all want to talk about immigration. Let's talk about the immigration scammer. So last week, Friday, in fact, I think it was Thursday, he was convicted. There's an Indian guy who was found to be in possession of fake documentation, fake permits, fake WRC documents. And this is an interesting case that probably the most interesting thing about it is the fact that the chief magistrate, 16 counts of having false documents in his possession. The chief magistrate said that she was actually disappointed that WORC did not carry out a more thorough investigation because she believed that there's no way that this man acted on his own. Just one quick question, comment before we wrap up. That last one, it says, if the shooter is ultimately charged with murder in this case, it raises interesting legal questions of causation. If the doctor is charged with manslaughter, the question is actually, is who actually caused Travis's death? I think that would be a relatively easy point for the judge to decide, but it will raise interesting legal arguments on both sides. Yep, for sure. Somebody says, and imagine how the sister, who's an ambulance driver for the HSA, so Travis's sister, they're saying, feels about how the board members think about justice being served for her brother. His sister works for the HSA? Oh, this just got extra interesting. What a hot mess. All right. So the Indian scammer, 42 years old, Deepak Rao, sentenced to 16 weeks in prison for his role as in an immigration ring that saw him involved with the possession of forged documents for 13 different individuals, all of whom were Indian nationals as well. He refused to admit that he had done anything wrong. Even up until that point, he maintained his innocence, and according to the court, showed no remorse for his actions. Now, the chief magistrate described this operation as being somewhat sophisticated and made the observation that the receipts and documents could have passed the casual eye. So in other words, if the average person was looking at it, you would have been fooled by the documentation. There's this company, Green Slate Recruitment Agency. I guess they're in India. And so the documentation had their logo and whatever all over it. All right. Well, he had these fake documents. He's the only person in this sting that has been charged, and this is why then the chief magistrate said that she feels like if they had done further investigations, they might have found other people here who were involved, because she doesn't believe he's the only person in this country that would have been involved in this. And so, she said that she found him guilty of having forged documents for some 30 Indian nationals back on July the 30th. He had false receipts and work permits and was connected to other people involved in the scheme. And she also said that in her opinion, it was obvious or clear that the defendant knew that documents were false. The offenses occurred between mid-2023 and early 2024, so over like a 6-month period. And so that was also one of the things that kind of caught her attention. And the fact that we would have had at least 13 people in our community who were not legally admitted to work here, and one of those people actually had already been denied a work permit by WORC. Listen, the judge talked about the importance under the law of ensuring that this is a custodial sentence. There was no way that she was going to not allow him, although it's only 16 weeks, there was no way that she was going to allow him to not go to prison, because this is one of those things where, he has to be used as an example. If you come to this country, you're involved in immigration scams, you go as far as creating false documents, false receipts, all this sort of stuff, that is a very, very serious offense, and you should get a custodial sentence. My opinion, 16 weeks isn't enough, but she has to work with, what she has to work with. The nature of the offense, he's a person of previously good character. His wife does work here as well. So presumably after he serves his time, he will be deported from the jurisdiction, and his wife is likely going to have to go along with him, although she didn't do anything wrong. And I don't know that it directly would impact her work permit, but she probably isn't going to stay after all of this. He also had a DUI, which she dealt with as well, and fined him $300 for that. A total of $600 for the DUI related offenses. It raises concerns. The biggest one is about the level of sophistication now that people who are seeking to undermine our immigration, even customs, all of our agencies have to be very, very concerned and must have a mindful eye about individuals who are tech savvy. They have AI that can help them. They have all sorts of things that is available to them to be able to assist them in breaching our laws. So we gotta have one up on them, right? That the level of sophistication with the documentation, she said it could pass. The average person would not have known that it was a fake document. That that raises some concerns. And I think this is where agencies need to really, really be on the lookout. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning, dear.
As I'm listening to this, I am remembering Dr. Saeed. And I think that, listen, with the sophistication of these forgeries, every professional Indian nationals, we have to talk about them now. We have to do due diligence in their credentials. Because for one, I can tell you that HSA is almost totally overrun by Indian nationals. So we definitely, our agencies definitely need to do forensic investigation on these people, this nationality qualification, because they are coming as doctors, nurses. I mean, they are in places that are critical when it comes to people's life.
Now, let me remind you about the fake nurses. You know, we never even heard anything further from that investigation. This was May of last year. We did an article, Council Investigates Fake Nurses. They've never gotten back to us with any of our questions answered. This is now the Medical and Dental Council. They need to do a better job, in my opinion, as well. And we had a number there. I think one of the individuals was an Indian individual, but I think the others were actually Filipino, who would come in with fake credentials, right? And they were using somebody else's documentation and then change the name on it. The caller got lost there. So this has identified a loophole in the system. And to this day, we've never heard. And to be fair to the HSA, they were actually the ones who caught through their paperwork, because with them going through the whole JCI accreditation process, they were then requiring all of their nurses and physicians and everybody else to provide documentation, which they had never done before, to say, okay, you claim that you have this degree. We need to now verify. They provide the document, but there's no independent verification. So now the HSA was going through a rigorous primary verification process, where if you said that you had this degree from this university, they were actually contacting the university with a view to verifying those credentials. That's why this type of thing is important. I want to remind you guys that the first institution here in the Cayman Islands to have the JCI accreditation was Health City Cayman Islands. So this independent verification process, which is one of the many things that you have to go through to get the JCI accreditation, was something that HCCI, Health City Cayman Islands, would have done, because they've been accredited for years now. When the HSA started the process, well, not started, because I think they'd started it, not passed it for numerous times, but when they really started to get underway with it back in 2023, at that time, they came across people who had, I think one person might have been hired and other people were seeking to get hired by the HSA. And they realized that those people did not have the correct, again, fake documentation. The documentation didn't belong to them. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not a nurse. And I think this is an important distinction. It doesn't mean that they haven't gone to nursing school and they have done it, but for whatever reason, they were trying to shortcut the system. So when you come from certain countries, there's a bit more hoops that you have to go through in order to be able to work in this jurisdiction, because you're not coming from a primary, licensing country or whatever, and you have to go through a more vigorous process. And so they were trying to bypass the vigorous process by using other people's credentials to say, oh yeah, I went to this school, whatever. And when the HSA contacted those institutions, they find out, nope, we don't have anybody by that name who went through our program. And apparently the actual, I'll try to follow up with the NDC on this, but the actual question then became, they're actually using the loophole of getting their credentials converted, if you will, through Jamaica as a way to really take advantage of the situation. So this is what they were doing. They proceed to go to Jamaica to get approval from the Nursing Council of Jamaica, right? They merely require a similar curriculum to what is taught there, and it is understood that they obtained a curriculum from the internet and simply supplied that to the NCJ along with a nursing certificate. The NCJ, which is the Nursing Council of Jamaica, does not undertake any primary source verification on the documentation submitted to them. Now, in Cayman, we have the nurses, what is it called? NMC. What does that stand for again? Where basically the council there that approves nurses, that's Section 5 of the Health Practitioners Law, they were allowing people to just come in with the credential from the Nursing Council of Jamaica, and they're simply accepting that. And that's the problem. So our licensing body here in the Cayman Islands, we're not doing any independent verification of their own to see if these people and the credentials that they were submitting through the Nursing Council of Jamaica was actually accurate and if it actually belonged to them. This is a problem. To this day, we know that they issued a statement saying, yes, they're aware of it. They were investigating it. Once again, we've heard nothing. This is May of last year. We've heard nothing on the investigation, no progress report, no idea what has happened to those nurses who did that. Have they been dispelled from, the nursing profession here in the Cayman Islands? Or are they still here? What's the situation? And by the way, 2 of the nurses were employed by the Doctors Hospital here in Georgetown. At first, they were trying to put it on HCCI, and the HCCI Health City said, hold on a second now. One thing we do is we verify our stuff because we are JCI accredited, unlike these other jokers coming behind us trying to do it. We have done it, and we've been reaffirmed, and we have gotten credentials that, very few people in the world have. So we're not bringing in any unsavory people from India. We're bringing in la creme de creme, the top of the top. So tell these people to get their source information right. And sure enough, we found out that 2 of the nurses were actually employed by Doctors Hospital. And then they were trying to get employment at HSA, and that's how they got caught. Now, keep in mind, we contacted Doctors Hospital in typical Doctors Hospital fashion. Speaking of health facilities that don't want to talk to media and don't want to tell you anything, they wouldn't deny or confirm anything. They wouldn't say anything. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you today?
Not bad. How you doing?
If I understand correctly what you are stating, you're saying that there was a failure on behalf of multiple medical regulatory bodies here in the Cayman Islands to do their due diligence on properly verifying these people, and there was a blind faith in the NCJ board. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the Nursing and Midwifery Council is the body responsible for registering nurses and midwives, right? So they were accepting it just because it came from the Nursing Council of Jamaica. Now, this is another interesting tidbit, right? Jamaican trained nurses have to pass a Caribbean regional exam, but the persons trained outside of Jamaica don't have to do the exam. All they do is show up in Jamaica with a purported syllabus, pay $800 US, and voila, they get registered. So there are weaknesses in the chain of how these people get approved in Jamaica. And then here in Cayman, instead of us saying, oh, hold on a second, we recognize this weakness. So those individuals will be subject to independent document verification. We could at least do that much. We don't even do that. We just accept them and give them licenses here to practice in the Cayman Islands.
I mean, do we not realize that dereliction of duty at the hands of the people here in Cayman opens up from our government and people taxpayer money funds to massive civil lawsuits as a result of issues that may arise, or even simply people who have put their faith within these medical bodies, whether it be the HSA, doctors, hospital, or what have you. That is a serious dereliction of duty and an incompetence, which, look, there's a lack of transparency, and there's a word which means opacity. Opacity and opaqueness is when you see people putting a big screen in front of everything and not being willing to tell the truth on any given matter, coming up with any given BS excuse to stop from revealing that information. We see it in FOI requests. We see it now within the health system in the Cayman Islands. Is unacceptable. You know, we, as you stated previously, the doctor who has been brought up, arrested on alleged manslaughter charges in the shooting victim from Outer West Bay there. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that the HSA would have put this information out there if you hadn't have brought it forward? No, I don't. Do you think that any other media house or media operation in the Cayman Islands would have brought it forward if you hadn't? No. And I think that, you know, as I read the conversation or the comments on CNS regarding yourself, the article on CNS regarding what you're going through within the court system now, and of course,
did they publish something?
Who really love you,
yeah, okay.
And they are making all kind of commentary. But I think, Sandra, the reality is this, Sandra, you are a symptom from the standpoint that you are the only one who is putting out information that is being held from the general public purposefully for no other reason than to hide the culpability of those in positions of power and influence here in the Cayman Islands. Instead of people being concerned with that positive factor, which is the actual real problem, we have people who are trying to blame you personally because you're bringing stuff forward, because you people have, you have folks within these operations who are willing to do the whole Ezra Miller style thing, which is, you know, put the documents on the man's hood of his car, if you want to look back that far in Cayman's history. Because everybody knows that we have a system here in Cayman which is built on opacity, which is built on keeping relevant information from the public in order to keep an illusion of well-being going in the absence of any goodwill, in the absence of any good governance or any concept of good governance. You know, not only that, Sandra, let's look at what's going to happen with the supposed investigation with John and that whole most recent debacle. Do you personally, Sandra, have any confidence that anything is going to come out with that? Or is it going to be the regular status quo, which is to tell the public there's going to be an investigation into this and just wait until it blows over? Right? That's what we have happening here in Cayman, and it happens time and time and time and time and time again. You know? So...
I didn't even, let me address one thing that you've said. I didn't know that CNS, I mean, she was there yesterday, but, you know, I appreciate her finally covering it. That's great. But, you know, the thing with CNS, I don't, probably 97% of the times I don't read anything that she's actually published, just like I don't read The Compass, to be honest. Number one, I'm too busy. Number two, I don't want anything that I've read on their platform to taint something that I could potentially be writing. But what I would say in relation to that is the anonymous way in which people are permitted to comment on CNS stories is very, very interesting. And it's what has kept the platform alive, because people get to read the comments and have a good chuckle and whatever. But, you know, you don't know if that's 1,000 people writing those comments or 5 people writing those comments. And it could be 5 people from the same IP address commenting over and over and over again, which is more likely than not. And so, when you say, oh, they're making comments about me, listen, I could really care less. There seems to be people who are attracted to that platform that every time they do write something about me, they get in the comment section again. It's the 5 people in Cayman that are really, really pissed off at me. And they just get in there and hammer on the same thing over and over and over again and sort of regurgitate and say the same thing. But that has nothing to do with this case. And that has, at the end of the day, nothing to do with what the outcome and what the judges will decide. They're all going to be shocked, no doubt, when the outcome of this case, when the judgment is finally read, and when the Court of Appeals sets down the law as it relates to freedom of speech.
I find it interesting, Sandra, that you have made an interesting point by using the word interesting, because I have long identified the fact that the anonymity afforded on CNN allows some of the most hateful vitriol to be spewed, right? And I am sorry, Wendy, but there is a definitive lack of objectivity in what is allowed to be published as it pertains to commentary. Because if it's a commentary that does not align with the agenda of CNS, it is more often than not disallowed from being published. Right? It's a problem, and that lack of transparency, that anonymity which is afforded, has helped to create further divide in this country. Further divide, and that is unfortunate.
I'm having a quick look at the article now, because Wendy wasn't there on Monday, so she would have missed when the judges actually said the very important point that they agree with me that the judge got it wrong, but they want to hear the legal arguments in relation to that. Nowhere in there, so that's why now people are commenting, because they're simply not paying attention to what the facts are, which is what I'm putting out there. If the judges didn't say that, I would not be in a position to say that. The judges themselves actually said that, and nowhere in Wendy's article does it say that the judges themselves say that they believe the judge got it wrong. So, you have to be to the point that somebody was making earlier about media, what media publishes and what they don't publish. At the end of the day, I don't care if people like me. I don't care if the 5 people commenting on CNS have an issue or bone to pick with me. That's on them. I do find it interesting that historically, Wendy has refused to remove the anonymous element of her platform. And, it's easy for her to do, because we're all on the back end using the exact same portals to create and write or media platforms. Compass doesn't do it. They don't allow comments, I don't think, on their page itself. We turned ours off because we were getting a lot of spam, but ours has always been linked to Facebook. So you always had to have a Facebook account in order to be able to comment on our website. Now you can create a fake Facebook account, but it's a little bit more challenging to do that than to have nothing at all, have no requirement at all. And CNS doesn't require anybody to register or do anything like that in order to be able to comment. So whenever people say, "Oh, read the CNS comments,"
it opens the door for cowardice.
Yes,
opens the door for cowardice, and it opens the door for some of the most despicable, anti-Caymanian hatred and vitriol that exists in the Cayman, and it is compounded over and over and over, and more often than not, when a Caymanian such as myself tries to give a retort, it is not published specifically because, at least in my humble opinion, it holds those people who are making those anonymous comments to task, and it exposes them for their hypocrisies. That, I think, is the reality of the situation, and I think that it shows an agenda which is outside the bounds of the well-being of and the interest of the Cayman Islands and all of her people.
Yes. And I mean, let's also be honest to keep things in perspective. Wendy obviously has her fan base and her followers, and they may not be my fan base and my followers, right? They're different people. And again, there's nothing stopping them from she certainly doesn't do any real degree of, that's fine if that's the platform or the means that they want to do it. There's no filtering of the comments for the most part. And it is what it is. So what you gonna do?
Comments made Sandra, speaks to the subjectivity. They spoke to your commentary and basically trying to say that you have used the excuse that your platform is a gossip site as opposed to an actual journalism site. Now, as far as I am concerned, I don't see one single iota of journalistic integrity in Cayman. Whether you're talking about the Compass, whether you're talking about CMR, CNS, or the Caymanian Times or anything like that. We don't have that. And to be honest with you, Sandra, I don't know if journalistic integrity ever really does exist except in some utopia, because you're always going to have some level of subjective input by the person writing the story to a degree. I wish it was different, you know, and we could take that conversation down the whole Kamala Harris, Trump debacle, but I'm going to concentrate on Cayman's equation here. You know, we don't have that. We also have a very opaque government, and we have very opaque government departments, statutory authorities, so on and so forth. It's highly problematic. That has created, or at least helped to exacerbate, in other words, make worse the issues that we in Cayman face. It has also helped to insularize certain groupings of people, whether it be by nationality or by their career, you know, by their job, X, Y, and Z. It doesn't help the Cayman Islands. I wish, and I think a lot of people might agree with me, at least on this one singular point, that we could have a source of journalistic of news wherein journalistic integrity is demanded. We don't have that here in Cayman.
Yeah.
We don't have that. And it comes back to this point, Sandra. Your position that you hold, regardless of all the criticism which is levied against you yourself on CMR, you are filling that gap by being the one and only source for people to give information which has been purposefully held from the consciousness of the general public. And I think you and I can both agree on this. That is why you are being held to task and why you are in court at this point, because there are a lot of people here in Cayman who don't want to see that heinous status quo changed.
Yeah. And let me just say this. I mean, I haven't read the full comment, but based on what you said, that somebody said, oh, you know, she's getting a pass because she's claiming that her platform is gossip. People
read the comments yourself and you can make your own deductions, of course.
Yeah, people don't listen carefully to what is said, and sometimes they don't understand what is actually being said. So first of all, what I have always said, and if you go read it on our kind of About Us page, right, I talk about why CMR got the name that it has, which is Cayman Mall Road, and what the Mall Road has always meant. And the example that I gave, the historical example that I gave, is in Bodden Town. If you go to the Mission House there, you'll see a little write-up about the women who used to walk on the Mall Road and get the news from town, bring it back to Bodden Town, which was the capital at the time, to the mistress of the house, and tell her exactly what was happening. So of course they gave her all of the official news, when the ships were coming in, when court was going to be happening, when food was going to be, you know, coming into our shores and all this kind of stuff. But along the way, you always got more than just the official source news.
Yeah, of course.
That's what the Mall Road is all about. So you might have heard that, you know, so-and-so is having a baby, but then question mark, is the baby actually for her husband? If the baby for somebody else? That is the Mall Road. So the Mall Road was, you know, both the official, the non-official, and a little bit of mixing of this stuff. And so that has been from day one what we've attempted to explain to people of what the traditional Mall Road was. And so our platform covers a mixture. There are some stories that you will read on CMR, 1,000% just facts, and that's it. Nothing else interjected. There are other stories where we're going to say, by the way, the community is saying, like I was talking about, you know, this whole thing with the doctor, the HSA. When you read that story, there's no conjecture in there. There's nothing. It just says, this is what he's been charged with. This is who he is. And these are his credentials.
As far as I know, the only person who has that relevant information is going to be the RCIPS and the HSA. I mean, there is no relevant information there available as it pertains to this particular subject matter, this doctor and the manslaughter charge, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing to even hold conjecture about.
Right. But people, you know, and there are times like, okay, if an accident happens and there are eyewitnesses at the scene, those people are going to send us footage. They're going to say, oh, Sandy, I overheard a conversation and this is what was happening, right? When you get the official police statement on the incident, none of that is going to be included. So we include those elements oftentimes in our story because, number one, we know that people are genuinely interested. People want to know what else happened. You think that I would be able to stand here today and say that independently Tower Marketing has found CMR to be the number one source for news if people actually wasn't reading it? If people were not reading and interested in this platform, we wouldn't have on a regular basis 500 people logged into our live stream every single day.
And I will make this point to you, Sandra. The bodies who these questions are about, RCIPS, the elected government, civil service, government bodies, statutory authorities, you know, I will speak to them directly right here and right now. And it is this. If you don't want conjecture, then speak the facts. Speak the facts of the matter. Because if you don't want that conjecture, understand that by being opaque all of the time, by being unwilling to share with the public the knowledge which is actually belongs to the public, because you all are servants of us, we the people of the Cayman Islands. You are the servants. You really have no right. They have no right to keep this relevant information from us. There is this constant excuse of, oh, it's commercially sensitive. And X, Y, and Z other excuses, which are either not relevant or are not justifiable to the subject at hand. So if they want less conjecture, then it is incumbent upon these people to be forthright and transparent and give that information, which does not even in all reality belong to them in the first place, to the general public. You want to stop conjecture? That's what you have to do. But there is an overriding sense of keeping an illusion of well-being going. That perception of well-being is what they stand upon. And their foundation is cracked, and it is completely has no structural integrity to it, and that's a reality. So you know, I'll leave you with that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jonathan.
All right, man. Bye.
And you know, the truth, I've taken off my neck brace to give myself a little bit of a break there as well. The truth of the matter is, as well, folks, is to Jonathan's point, if there was greater transparency, I don't think that Mall Road would have made the traction that it has made. It's because of that lack of, and that's why I knew that there was something missing from the perspective of media coverage. There was something missing in this country. Now, let me also be very, very clear. We're not cookie cutter, straight media where we're going to fit in their neat and nice little box. CMR, you get a little bit of messiness. You get community activism. You get someone who has a talk show that actually cares about the outcomes of different things in this country, cares about the people. That's why people come to me when they have a problem. In that judgment itself, you will read the judge saying, why is it that people are coming to you with their complaints about someone like a Matthew Leslie? Why don't they go to the authorities? He asked the question, and apparently the DPP woman felt so aggrieved by him asking the question that she had to respond and, oh, well, the DPP is we're doing our job. Are you really? Are you really doing your job? Because if you were doing your job to such a great and successful extent, once again, people would not have to come to me. There's a truth in this. If the police were doing their job, why are people coming to me? Right? People seek me out because they believe that the agencies and authorities that are there to protect us and to make sure that the law is being followed are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I get information every single day about breaches of all sorts of WORC, marriages of convenience, of people, selling illegal things in this country, giving out answers to tests that people are not supposed to have, all sorts of stuff. Ask yourselves, why are people coming to me and not going to the police with this information? I'm more trusted than the police. That is a problem that the police need to think about, as well as the DPP's office. And the judge himself, Judge Chappell, Chappell, I always get his name wrong, whatever. He himself asked the question during the sentencing phase of my matter. And it's a very, very, very good question that somebody needs to answer. Now, CMR has an element of community, right? We're more about the community than any other media house, newspaper, publication, or whatever you want to coin them as in this country. And that is without a doubt what it is. That's a fact. And that has been so ingrained in our fiber of who we are in this community that, quite frankly, I see sometimes in the women's group in Cayman, somebody's like, one woman is complaining about her roach-infested apartment and how the woman is evicting them and something about rent money. One of the first comments, contact Sandy from Mall Road. She'll help you expose these people. You know why? Because there's no housing board in this country that any of you can go to make a complaint. So there's a lot of gaps in the systems here. A lot of consumer protection that just doesn't exist. So what you guys have is you have Cayman Mall Road, if nothing else. You lose your cat. You're not saying the Haitians eating it. You're coming to Sandy. Sandy, help me find my cat or my dog. Help me find my long lost dad. I'm from Honduras. I know my father in Cayman somewhere. Help me find, because there's nobody else you're going to turn to. You go to the police. Oh, we can't help you with that. Oh, somebody stole your money. Oh, that's a civil matter. How many cases have we been able to get the police to do something about, to stop scammers in their tracks? I've lost count. Our little small team here at CMR said, what we should do is start to keep, somebody said, give yourself a kaboom. Someone says what we need to do is keep a log of all of our success stories. I'm like, my God, we would be really busy just trying to maintain that log. Let me give you some examples of how we have helped people in this community. There's a child predator who is in jail right now, right? For posting child pornography, a video of a baby. And when I say a baby, I mean a baby being brutally raped by some man. And he had that on social media. Someone in the community saw that and reached out to me. I immediately alerted the police, immediately got the video footage of that, provided them with all the evidence so that they could have an open and shut case. He's behind bars, thank God, right? There are scammers, Judith Douglas, Garfield Robb, and others who would still be scamming openly in this community with no regard for the police whatsoever if it had not been for me personally reaching out to the Commissioner of Police saying, listen, why are your police officers telling everyone that goes and complains to them about this individual that, oh, this is a civil matter? I said, at what point does this become fraud? I know the law. And I know that what this person is doing, taking money from hard working people in this community, is fraudulent behavior and they need to be stopped. As soon as I reported on Judith Douglas, the floodgates opened. And I have my notebook here to this day with all of the people and the amounts, well over $50,000, $60,000, that in a matter of a couple weeks, she was able to take from people in this community. The Compass would never do anything like that. CNS, For as wonderful as Wendy is, she's never done anything like that. Who has she gotten arrested because she's went to the police and say, listen, people are coming to me complaining about this. Can you guys please do your job? Garfield Rob, how many people he's crooked over the years? And we went to the police and said, come on, he's at it again. The last time you guys dropped the case and negotiated with him, that hasn't helped anybody because he's still doing it. When are you guys going to put the hammer down on this man and arrest him for obtaining property by deception? So, people can be critical. It is your right to be critical of CMR. That is fine. It doesn't bother me one bit. I still sleep really, really good at night because I know for the 2%, the 3%, maybe even the 5% that want to sit down and complain about CMR, I know the good that we do in this community. I know the poor little Jamaican man who lost his bank bag with his passports, his jewelry, over $10,000 US that he was taking back to Jamaica with him to help to continue to build his house, his little retirement plan. When that money and that bag went missing, I know he went to our friends over at Radio Cayman, and Miss Anita said to him, please go to Mall Road. She can help you. And I know within days of us posting that, a man had his bank bag back with every single dollar in it. Not a thing was touched. His passport was there. Both passports for him and the wife. The money, the US and the CI was there. The jewelry was there. Some Filipino fishermen found it. They didn't trust the police to hand it to them. But as soon as they saw it on Mount Road, they reached out, Miss Sandy, we have it. And I was like, what? Every day this week, somebody lost 2 rings still in the box. And they're like, I'm pleading for a miracle. And there was the miracle. The person was just waiting to see if anybody would come forward. And they reached out. I have the rings. Our special needs community, right? Constantly having people parking in their spots. Now there's some of you who are like, oh shoot, I'm not gonna park in that spot, because I'm gonna end up on Mall Road. We're keeping you on the straight and narrow. And if that's what it takes, then so be it. So listen, I'm not worried. They say everybody has an opinion, like everybody has a a bonka hole. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's part of freedom of speech. You don't have to like what people say. In fact, you don't even have to read what people say. I appreciate Jonathan. I didn't even know that Wendy had put up the article because she wasn't there Monday in court. But, the few little people that come out that every time she posts something about me, they have something to say. What are those people doing in their communities? Let me ask you that question. Who are they helping? So seriously, when was the last time that they even picked up the phone and tried to help someone with anything at all? So we're focused here on what we need to do within our community. We're community based. That's what Mall Road is all about as well. We're entrenched in this community, and the vision from the onset has always been to be different than everybody else. I never wanted to be a CNS. I never wanted to be a Cayman Compass. I never wanted to be a Radio Cayman, because there was space in the community for something more meaningful, something that actually helps people and bring issues to the forefront that people care about. It is what it is. Scott, good morning. He says it's not only the fake credentials, it's the people performing services that are not licensed to perform in the Cayman Islands by the Health Practice Commission. And we need to know who those people are. That's a whole other situation. Nat B says, why are we surprised? The biggest counterfeiters are Asians, Russia, China, India, Pakistan, Thailand, Philippines, Singapore, etc. Russian people are not considered Asian people, though. Live Happy says the government must conduct a comprehensive investigation immediately and investigate every individual that has come to work, especially in Nepal, Pakistan, India, Jamaica, Philippines, and Turkey. And let me say this, Live Happy. The majority of these people are good, honest, hardworking individuals. Even allowing a minority to slip in has the potential to have far-reaching implications in your community. So there has to be verification of all of these individuals. And that's why Health City said to me, Sandy, listen, we don't play with this. We're not bringing in people that we have not verified their credentials. That's part of our JCI requirements from day one, and we've always done that. Doctors Hospital clearly wasn't doing it. And to this day, it doesn't seem like they're doing it still. Kasia says, yet when a Caymanian obtains a qualification, they're dragged through the ringer to prove the validity of their qualifications. And that's if they even get the opportunity to have the post. Gabby, good morning, says they need a compliance department to deal with background checks and verify the information that they provided. Absolutely. Morning, Fresh Joe. Fresh Joe says, interestingly, my partner is a nurse and have shared stories, so it all makes sense now. Mm-hmm. What a mess. Gabby says, I bet if they were Caymanians, see the amount of digging that they would be doing. Unapologetic said, you all don't understand by now. They don't care for any of you, all smoke and mirrors. Live Happy says, this is a root to this artificial population growth we're having going on in Cayman, and it needs to be stopped. Sarah Bush, good morning, says, yet the Caymanian nurses properly trained and licensed are given a hard time in securing jobs in their home country. What a mess. Unapologetic, agreeing with Jonathan's comments. Andrew, good morning, says, thank God for CMR, as we don't have any other media that gives us an unbiased news of what's happening in our country. And listen, I don't even claim to be unbiased, Andrew. I think everybody has probably some degree of bias, but I try to apply like basic rules to everyone, right? So this is why when people say that I'm biased towards or against certain nationalities, that doesn't hold water, because everybody's fair game. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Caymanians, Jamaicans, whatever, when you're in the behavior that puts you in the spotlight of wrongdoing, then you are open to scrutiny. You're open to discussion. You're open to your court case being covered, regardless of who you are. It simply doesn't matter to me. So I'm not biased in that way at all. And what we try to do in our platform is we try to, especially when it comes to court stuff, is we're going to put out as much information as possible on what transpired. And then it's up for you all to, determine what it is that you think about a situation, what your feelings are about it, or whatever, right? So we give you the information, and then you can come to your own conjecture if you want. You can form your own opinions about it. It is what it is. And if we get something that somebody comes back and says, well, that wasn't quite right what that person shared, we'll correct it. We'll fix it. We'll change it. We ain't got no shame in that part of our game. We're 97% accurate. We're not claiming, we've never said that we're 100% accurate. Damien says the government needs income, so keep it coming with the population growth and spend it on expensive and over budget projects. The problem with that approach, Damien, and I don't know if the government gets it, but the more people that you claim you're bringing in to bring in more money, the more infrastructure and other things that you need to support the population. So that's nonsensical logic. Like, it doesn't make any sense to talk about. And when I hear politicians say this, even McKeeva Bush, when he talked about, we need to grow the population to $100,000 to be able to sustain Cayman, I'm thinking, why? Because we don't have the road infrastructure. We didn't for a long time have the healthcare infrastructure. All of these things were missing. So why would you be seeking population growth if you can't manage the growth? Right? It's one thing to say, we got the numbers, then we can have the revenue in this country. But what good is that going to do you if the infrastructure simply does not exist? That's crazy talk, in my opinion. Good morning, Jackie. Says, do you remember when they realized that many doctors were not board certified at HSA? Maybe the late 90s or early 2000s. So we would assume that all of this would be a smooth running machine. So in other words, that they should have it figured out by now. Well, no one is saying that anybody at HSA is not board certified in this day and age. What we did say is that they caught 2 nurses who were over at Doctors Hospital. Actually, 3 nurses, but 2 came from there, who did not have the the credentials that they should have had in their name, right? So they were basically copy and pasting somebody else's syllabus. Shaka Zulu says, caller, this issue with reporting, I believe, is generally due to the fact that many, if not most reporters used to be work permit holders living in fear of negative repercussions of their reporting. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Wendy lives in that fear for sure. You know, we do see biases. Some of it is because people just don't even know that, like, they're living here, but they are here as work permit holders, and they're not really that involved or ingrained in the community. And so that impacts your reporting as well. I mean, you know, that's why I was flabbergasted when former Premier Panton said that Rejma asked him, who else does he help in the community? I was like, what did she say? That was a legitimate question? Because Rejma has lived here. I think she has PR by now. She must have permanent residency. She's lived here for a number of years. And, you know, because she's from the Caribbean, they say, oh, that's close enough to being a Caymanian. You know, put her on the localish and the political stories. But she seems to have a lack of understanding of some of the things that are actually happening in this country, which I find a little bit shocking. Unapologetic says, remove the anonymous aspect for what? When you speak out on high-ranking officials, especially one is targeted and ostracized by your own people for expressing your freedoms of speech. It's in name only. This is so-called white paper, constitutional rights and freedoms. So listen, like I said, every platform does things differently, right? I'm aware that there are people who create secondary social media accounts so that they can take a position and say things because they're civil servants and they're afraid to do so otherwise. I think what happens over at CNS is that there's no monitoring hardly ever of the comments. There's no requirement to be registered in any way or connected to any other platform that could verify, right, your ID. And so what you have is a handful of people, and I think it is only a handful of people, who really love certain topics and love hating on certain people. And so when those people are in the news, those negative commenters jump in. And, you know, if you read a CNS article about me, be like, oh my God, all these people don't like Sandy. It's like 5 people who can have the time to comment 100 times. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the problem with anonymous commenters. There are filters that she could put in place that could restrict you commenting, like, you know, once per IP address, or just different things that would make it even more meaningful so you can gauge how and what the public really thinks in a particular topic. And that doesn't happen over at CMS, not at all. CNS. Now we had it where, again, you had to be registered with Facebook to be able to comment on our pages. We didn't have a whole lot of people commenting. And then what we were starting to have is the fake accounts, and they do exist on Facebook. They were starting to jump in on the page and comment. We just locked it up. We locked it down. You notice that you can't comment on our articles anymore directly on the website. If you want to comment, go to Facebook, because Facebook helps to some extent, although I don't think they do a particularly good job. They help control some of the spammers and stuff like that, and they can take down their accounts if they need to. Damien says, do not insult actors and activists that say they are journalists. Cassius says CNS is a biased platform. Any attempt to post an alternative view, CNS will not post it, yet they allow anti-Caymanian comments to be published on their site. CNS is trash, period. Oh my gosh. You know, I guess something for everybody, Cassius. I don't really, like I said, I don't have the time or the desire to read probably 99% of anything that anybody else publishes locally because I'm so busy doing my own thing, right? I think this medication is making me feel a little bit loopy. I probably need to go lie down. But everybody has a different style. So I'm not going to I'm going to say that our style is different. I can only speak to what our style is, and I understand why we do what we do. I can't speak to motivations or anything else for anybody else. I don't go on CNS to comment. I don't go on the Compass to comment, That's for them to try to figure it out, I guess. Good morning. Siobhan says, I'm still listening. Aliano says, Carla, we have the journalist competency. It's called CMR. And you know what? People hold us to task, and I think that that's right. I think that, hold us to task, because then we think, wow, let's make sure that we're keeping to what we should be doing. There are times that people try to hold us to task just because they have a different opinion about how we deliver the news that we deliver. And we don't always bow down to that, because we think, again, everybody has a right to an opinion. And it doesn't mean that your opinion is going to impact our policy or our decision making. Damien says there's nothing wrong with news media being biased and one-sided. I think it depends on what you mean by that. And if news media admits that they're biased and that they lean in a particular way, and that's in the public sphere, then that is, there's total transparency with that, then it is what you get. Like, which news medias in the US are conservative and which are more liberal and whatever. And that you're going to get a certain slant based on that from their stories. I don't identify with those types of labels personally. So Shaka Zulu says generational Caymanians would know what the Mall Road is all about, not sure about the rest of the population. And a lot of times they don't know, and that's why they get in their feelings and they say certain things. Aliano says, like I say, I'm more scared of ending up on Mall Road than anything else. And believe me, I have come close too damn much to ending up too much to ending up there. Oh, sounds like you need to behave yourself. Honey, chill. Not everyone can be a shepherd if you don't have any sheep, says Damien. Generational Caymanians are not on the protected list. What a hot mess. Shaka Zulu says the cake is right. All we have to do is look back at how the government was trying to dismiss the gang problem that existed a few years ago. Yes. What a hot mess. The cake. Oh, the collar. Yeah. Thank you for correcting that, Shaka, because I was a little bit confused when you said cake. I'm like, when were we talking about cake? Oh my God. Garrett says, Sandy, you did good work to help find missing puppies. Aw. Fresh Joe says, you're bold and not afraid to speak on anything or anyone. So people look up to you, and you have had amazing results, while these organizations tasked to fix these issues scramble for even a lead. What a mess. Siobhan says, all people do is complain. That's human nature, honey chow. I felt like I needed to give my neck a little bit of a break, Siobhan. It is hard wearing that all the time. So that's why I took it off. But I think I'm going to go lie down now because I'm feeling a little bit woozy. Shaka Zulu says, Auntie Sandy, your speech is an example of what we need candidates for the upcoming election to be listing as their accomplishments, either in office or in life in general. Oh. Damon says, even if you fart too loud, you might end up on Mall Road. Ooh, honey. Oh my God. Russians are considered to be Asians? Oh, really? Huh. Okay, I thought they were more on the European side, but all right. Thank you, Nat B. She said Russia's subdivided into 49 countries, 5 of them, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Russia, Kazakhstan, and Turkey are transcontinental countries lying partly in Europe. So they're still considered Asian countries? What a hot mess. Ethel says, I think you should put back on your neck brace. I will in a little bit. Well, thank you. Look at that. You learn something new every day. I've never seen an Asian Russian, though. Like what I think of traditional Asian being like Japanese and stuff like that. Morning, Miss Sonia. All right, folks. Shaka Zulu says it's called gaslighting, Auntie Sandy. The purposeful negative comments by some. They'll be all right. Unapologetic says they're censoring people over at CNS. Oh, what a mess. And here's another thing. I was actually talking to someone last night about news media in Cayman. And so there's always this rhetoric that certain people own different news media. So, like, you know, people like, oh, you know, even Johan, I think, has told me that people claim that he owns CMR. Johan wouldn't be so lucky. They want to say that Mr. Panton owns CMR and all this kind of stuff. Listen, without fear of contradiction, I can tell you guys that no one owns CMR but me. No one has any interest in CMR but me. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay? It's as simple as that. No one has invested in CMR but me. And, you know, I've never needed any investors or anything like that. I'm not looking for anybody. We do what we do in a shoestring budget, as they say. So hopefully we can really start to put those rumors to bed. You know, that's not how this platform works. People don't get to buy into it to be able to control the narrative in any way, shape, or form. If they have something to say, they can come on the show. You can buy airtime. You can buy an advert. Those things are up for sale. What isn't for sale is me, my viewpoints, my perspectives isn't for sale. Coming into the general election, that's something that will be extremely important for people to be able to understand, because you're going to start seeing ads all over the place. We've agreed that a way to be fair to everyone is to allow everyone access, right? Just because you have access does not mean that you're not going to be asked the tough questions if you decide to come on the show. Some will never do that, of course. Some will never advertise, and that's a matter for them. You know, and I'm only here trying to have engaging and truthful conversation. There are times that I have an opinion on something, and my opinion, again, like I told you guys, opinions are not facts. So my opinion might turn out to be based on misinformation. I'm one of those people, though. I'm open to being corrected. I'm open to learning. I'm open to saying, let me fact check it. I'm all about, really? Let me check that. Marcia says, let them talk. You're doing a great job, miss. Thank you so much. Dennis, how are you? Says, good morning, Sandra. I'm a Jamaican living in Ohio, USA, and I'm a fan of your program. Thank you, Dennis. Any cats and dogs going missing in your neighborhood? That's a little joke from what we were talking about earlier about Ohio, honey shell. I heard BlackRock owns CMR. Who's BlackRock? BlackRock. I don't even know who that is. Who's that? Shaka Zulu says Russians are made up of a combination of straight Chinese looking, European looking, and a hybrid of both. Mr. Panton only owns word of mouth, and he lets Mario run it. No, he doesn't own word of mouth. He contributed, donated after he was begged some money from Mario. He donated $5,000. He doesn't have any ownership in it. And I can also tell you that he obviously has had no control over the platform, because Mario does and says whatever the heck he wants. Good morning, caller.
Sandra, it's me again. I just want to make this one point with you, please. Hi. I just would like to remind you that I requested debate with Mr. Kenneth Bryan as it pertains to the cruise port referendum issue. Okay, now whether or not Mr. Bryan is willing and able to come on CMR and have that debate with me, I don't know. But
I'm gonna ask him directly, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna ask him directly.
Beyond that, Sandra, what we lack here in Cayman, as we are coming into an election cycle soon, what we are lacking here in Cayman is real unscripted debates. And I think that, for one thing, those who are unable to stand upon their stated positions are going to be the ones who are not going to be willing to actually debate. I think it's something that we should try to push forward here, whether it be an incumbent candidate or a new candidate, and offer an opportunity for the public to ask those questions directly and unscripted. And I think that is one of the solutions necessary for Cayman to strive to get a better quality of individual in the Legislative Assembly or Parliament. But it is also an opportunity for those who really and truly believe that they are worthy of being given the privilege of representing the Cayman Islands and all of our people, to state their opinion and be judged by the people who really actually matter in this country, which is the electorate. So I'd like to give you that suggestion, please, Sandra.
Yes. All right.
You can have a part in that, let's move forward with that, and let's look to have debates between the candidates and the general public, and let's put them through that gauntlet.
All right. I will send it to Kenneth for sure.
But I'm not talking about just Kenneth. I'm talking about everybody.
I understand the general. Yeah, I understand the general position. Thank you.
Particularly as it pertains to the election cycle, which is coming up in the near future.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sandra.
You're most welcome. Thank you. And the last time during the election cycle, we did partner with the chamber, because their debate forum has long been something that they've ran for quite some time, and so we partnered with them and we shared rebroadcast their debates on our platform. I'm hoping that we can work again on that into this coming cycle, because they already have it organized, and we weren't really looking to take over that space. I think we can do something very different here on the morning show for anyone who's running for elected office. But I think the chamber does a phenomenal job with that. And so I'm sure that we'll be able to, I haven't had a discussion with them yet, but hopefully we'll be able to partner with them again to reach the most people with those debates. Live Happy says Kenneth is starting his own show. So apparently, I've told you guys that here in Bobo, one of the great things about this platform is anybody can get a show. So you pay them the time for the airtime once again, and you can have your own show. You can do music show, you can do talk shows, you can do, I don't know what else y'all might want to do. So yes, I am aware of Kenneth. I don't know when it starts, but I have been told that Kenneth is going to be doing an evening show, I think once a week, but it's supposed to be one that is just for his constituents, is what I understand. So it's not so much for the broader population, is what I was told. We'll have to see what that looks like. I'm not exactly sure. But you know what? Let me get some details on it, and I'll give him some free promotion. And But we'll get some more information on that and publish that up, because I do know straight from the horse's mouth. Actually, he told me a couple weeks ago that he was going to be doing this show. So I'll get some more details on the platform. Maybe we'll do a little interview with him to see exactly what this show is supposed to be all about. Okie dokie. That's all she wrote. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to just try to get some more rest. The doctor did say, what this is, it's going to take a couple days to kind of settle down in its own. Just take the medication. Reality show, I think that was it. It got cut, honey child. 1 season and no more. Yeah, and Elizabeth, who was Elizabeth Chambers, who was the lead of it, I guess. She kind of brought it here. She has since left Cayman. She's moved back to Los Angeles full time because her full time job there. She does another show. She got renewed in that one for another season or whatever. All right, good folks. That's all she wrote. Oh yes, thank you. Somebody says you don't know who BlackRock is. I did go look them up. Some investment management and financial services. No, not them. Oh, which BlackRock? Well, I don't know which BlackRock y'all are talking about. They're the world's largest asset management company with $10 trillion in assets. That's not who you're talking about? Who else is BlackRock? All right, y'all gotta let me know because I don't know who BlackRock's supposed to be. Anywho, my beautiful people, please, please, please have a good weekend. Shaka says, yes, that's the BlackRock. So that's the one you're talking about. But somebody else is telling me there's another BlackRock. Somebody says it's a major PE firm. Oh, okay. They said, yes, that's them. They own everything and everyone. Well, they don't own me, honey child, because I've never heard of them. But if you got $10 trillion, maybe we could talk about a partnership of some sort. Come and give us financial advice. Tell us how we can get, we don't need 10 trillion, but tell us how we can get, a few more dollars around here. All right, beautiful folks. That's, there's only one BlackRock, says Aliana. What a mess. Somebody gave you sarcasm pills for your birthday. Well, me? Oh, Lord. What a hot mess. I'm probably always a little bit sarcastic. What can I say? All right, people, please behave yourselves this weekend. Can I tell y'all? No drinking and driving. I'm begging y'all. Try to do better on the roadways. Y'all are some of the worst drivers this side of the Mississippi, honey child. Pay attention. I will be doing little driving over the next couple of days because I still don't have complete full range of motion. So I think I'm going to stay put. Maybe I'll get to watch a new TV series. I'll sit in front of the TV and do something that I haven't had a chance to do. I want to start watching Game of Thrones. You guys have watched Game of Thrones? I'm going to start. Maybe this is the weekend to do that. I need to catch up on Bridgerton because I watched season 1. How many seasons are they into now? They got to be at least like 3 or 4. So I want to see the other storylines. So I need to start watching again. And what else? There's a lot of good movies and stuff out there. So maybe this weekend. Somebody sent me a customs question for Cayman Brack. All right, let me look into that. All right, I'm on it, honey child. I'm going to go put Yellowstone. I haven't watched that one either, but I've heard good things about it. Thank you, Needy. You have a nighty. You have a good weekend as well. And everybody try to be as safe as you possibly can. See you guys on Monday, God's willing. All right, honey child. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.